What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Spinfuel's Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at Vaporcitysauce. So this line comes straight out of Sussex, New Jersey at a shop called Vapor City Plus, where this is their advocacy line. They also have a house line, but for this line they give $1 for every bottle sold to the advocacy group of the shop's choosing of whoever picks them up. So if your shop is in the market for a new line of juice and you want to give to advocacy, this is the best way to do so, and the flavors are actually really good. So I definitely want to give Lynn a huge shout out for allowing me to do this review for you guys today. Make sure you talk to her and get this line in your shop today. I'll have all the information for her contact info in the description below, but I want to shout out Dawn as well. She is the mixologist behind this. I was really happy to meet Mimi and Dawn at ECC in Pomona, California. They were super nice to me and basically played host, where they brought me around the whole convention, and Mimi introduced me to a lot of her friends that she's met. If you don't know Mimi, she's like the most bubbly, charismatic person I've ever met, and she's just friends with everyone, so easy to get along with. So we got a lot to cover today, so let's get right down into the review part of this video. So our first flavor today is going to be Rumors. Rumor has it, adults don't like sweet candy flavors. We'll let you be the judge, but we're pretty sure you'll love it. Rumors don't always have to be a bad thing, and it's a Max VG blend. This is a mouth-watering sweet grape mixture. So, never been a big fan of grape in the past, but they've always been like a Dimetap or something like that, nasty kind of bleh, gross alcohol-y flavoring. But this is going to change the game, I think, so let's have our first vape. I don't really get a Dimetap flavor out of it, which is definitely different. I get more of a grape popsicle or maybe a grape Jolly Rancher, which is kind of surprising to me because I've never, ever had a grape that was any good until this one here. I'm not a huge grape flavor fan, but for a grape flavor, this is definitely good. I do recommend it. It's very sweet, it's very candy-like, and I think you'll really enjoy it if you are looking for something with grape but doesn't taste like medicine. Let's have another vape here and I'll get to my ratings. Alright, so for the flavor on this one, I'm going to give it a 3.5. I've never been a huge grape fan, but again, if you guys are looking for a grape flavor, I do highly recommend this one. I have yet to see anything else that can come even close to this one as far as the real grapey kind of candy flavor. As for the vapor production, I'm going to give it a 4. Really leaves nothing to be wanted here. I really get good cloud production out of this one. And for the throat hit, I'll give it a 4.5. Pretty spot on, right where I want it to be. Nothing harsh in the aftertaste, nothing too light or anything like that. I can definitely get that little bit of nicotine feel, which is good, which is right where I want it to be at 3 milligram. And again, these are available in 0.3 and 6 milligram. So that does it for Rumors. Let's move on to our next flavor. Alright guys, we're back with our next flavor, which is going to be Robber Baron. Let's shut down the Robber Barons of Big Tobacco. This seems to be the perfect vape for everyone. Is it coffee, maple syrup, vanilla, caramel? Is there a hint of tobacco? You may never know the true answer, but you'll enjoy every minute of not knowing. Again, this is a Max VG blend. This should be an interesting one because the flavor description is rather vague. I'm guessing the flavor will change over the different voltages, wattages, coils, etc. So right now with this setup, I like this one because it's a happy medium. As you guys know, this is my favorite flavor review setup. So here we go. Let's have our first vape. Alright, so I gotta say, the first thing that hits me is instantly the caramel. The vanilla shortly after that. I do get maybe a hint of maybe tobacco in the background, maybe on the exhale. Not sure where the coffee comes in or the maple syrup. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be it or whatever, but definitely get more of a vanilla caramel with a hint of tobacco. Which is really interesting. It's a good flavor. It's very dense, and it's very clear too. You can't really tell from the bottle itself, but this liquid is very clear, which you don't really see too often with the heavier, denser, richer flavors. So I'm pleasantly surprised by this one. Let's have our second vape, and I'll get to my ratings. And for this one, since it's such a menagerie of different flavor, it's really hard to pinpoint the specific ones that I find that are coming forward the most. For me, I would say mostly the caramel comes forward the most first. Then you get that nice vanilla flavor, you know, in the middle of the vape, and on the exhale I get a little bit of tobacco. So for the flavor on this one, I'll give it a 4. It's not really my all-day vape kind of flavor, but it's pretty darn good. So if you want something that's going to keep you guessing, highly recommend this one. For the vapor production, I'll give it a 4.5. It's pretty good. Big dense clouds for max VG. Again, this is pretty spot on where you want it to be. And for the throat hit, I'll give this a 4 as well. Pretty good. Not too harsh, not too light. For, you know, a vanilla flavor, it usually smooths everything out nicely, and I definitely can attest to that. So that does it for Robber Bear, and let's move on to our next flavor. All right, for our next flavor, we have Rebel. Rebel has a rich mouthfeel and excellent full-bodied flavor, creamy custard with a cookie sweetness. Just like the Rebels of the past, this flavor is for the vapor that demands a choice. With a dab of passion and heart, this flavor will satisfy the masses. Again, max VG. This is probably one of my top 3 flavors for sure of this line. Really, really good. I went through a whole 15 mil in a day before, so I already know I like this one. I just really hate the word mouthfeel. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Anyways, let's have our first vape here. So when I was dripping this one, I really felt like I got a lot more flavor out of it. So I would highly recommend you put this one on a dripper rather than a tank. For a max VG blend, it's good for either or. Sub-ohm tanks can handle the max VG, but I think it works a little bit better in a dripper setup. But for me, this one has a lot of that creamy custard with that cookie flavor. I get like a vanilla, maybe a hint of like cinnamon or nutmeg or something like that in there. I'm sure that's not, you know, meant to be, but that's what I kind of get when you close your eyes and have a vape. That's kind of what you get out of it. It's almost like a nice warm cookie on a cold day or something like that. It's very, very satisfying, very rich flavor as well, but not too harsh, not too overbearing. And it's rather clear. I like the flavors that have really good flavor and really dense, rich flavor, but are very clear or with just a slight hint of like golden amber color to it. When you find those liquids that are supposed to be something really rich and custardy, stuff like that, that are really dark, they gunk up your coils a little bit faster, and they tend to use a lot more sweetener. So you can tell this one's really, really pure in the sense that they probably don't use a ton of sweetener, if any at all. So let's have our second vape, and I'll get to my ratings. So for the flavor on this one, I feel like I get a little bit more of the custard than I do the cookie, but there is that really nice rich vanilla flavor in there, which kind of carries through the whole vape. For the flavor on this one, I'll give it a 4. One of my top 3s for sure with this one. And vapor production, I'll give it a 4.5. Really leaves nothing to be wanted there. And for the throat hit, I'll give it a 4. Pretty standard. I feel like all of these are going to be pretty much the same for the last 2, but the flavor itself is really, really good. If you want a good cookie custard flavor, definitely give this one a shot. So that does it for Rebel. Let's move on to our next flavor. Alright, for our next flavor we have Red Herring. Red Herring is completely fruity. The most popular flavor to date. Have fun trying to figure this one out. Everyone tastes something different, but don't worry, this isn't meant for distraction, just satisfaction. Another one with a max VG blend, and here we go. Let's have a vape. This one is tough. The flavor description really doesn't help much at all. It is fruity. It's almost candy-like, or maybe even a tropical adult beverage-like. I'm stuck between some sort of like red vine Twizzler flavor and some other type of candy. This is a tough one. The flavor itself is good, very fruity, almost a little bit of tropical-y. Overall, I'd have to say maybe a little cherry, strawberry, something like that. Again, the flavor description really isn't helping me whatsoever. It's some sort of candy flavor. I'm convinced it's some sort of type of candy. I know that flavor, but it's on the tip of your tongue and you can't quite get it out. Not really sure, but I know that I like it, so there you go. I'm going to take another vape here and hopefully get to some ratings. So for this one, for the flavor, I'm going to give it a 4.5. I don't know what flavor it is. I'm guessing some sort of cherry, strawberry, tropically somewhat mix. I don't really know. If you have had this flavor or if you know anything about this flavor, make sure you leave a comment and help me out below. But for the flavor that's in it, I really enjoy it. So for the flavor, I'll give it a 4.5. For the vapor, 4.5 as well. For another Max VG, good to go on that. And the throat hit is spot on, so 4. This one's definitely interesting. I really highly recommend it just for the fact that, you know, you should just try this flavor and let me know what you think. So, yeah, there's that. Let's move on to our next flavor. All right, we're primed up and ready to go for Bandwagon. Bandwagon, yogurt is the new custard. Jump on the bandwagon with creamy spoonfuls of yogurt and decadent strawberries, which will leave you wanting more. Another one with a Max VG blend. I have a feeling that's going to be the theme here. I believe all these are going to be Max VG, but pretty sure this is going to be my top favorite out of this entire line. I went through another 15 ml of this before in one day, so I know I like it already. But let's have a vape here, and I'll tell you what I think of it here. So yeah, this isn't the most inspired flavor in the world. Strawberry yogurt's been done before time and time again, but I really think they captivated the essence of a strawberry yogurt. You don't get that sourness like you do out of something maybe with a Greek yogurt base. This has a more just standard, almost like a Go-Gurt kind of flavor to it. Just plain and simple strawberry yogurt, which I really enjoy. It's smooth, it's creamy, it's sweet. The strawberry flavor is definitely present in there, and the yogurt flavor smooths it all out and leaves a nice aftertaste on your tongue. Perfect for, you know, an after dinner vape or something like that. Or I went through a whole tank of this stuff when I was driving. So yeah, I think this is a really great flavor. I highly recommend it for anyone out there that's looking for something like strawberry yogurt that doesn't want that sour kind of Greek yogurt flavor. So let's get to some ratings. So for the flavor on this one, I'm going to give it a 4.5. This has been, again, one of my top 3s of this line. Really enjoyed this flavor so far, and I really highly recommend it to anyone out there that's looking for strawberry yogurt. For the vapor production, 4.5, just like the rest of them. And for the throat hit, 4. I feel like that's going to be the theme for the rest of this line, so get used to it. Nice and spot on throat hit, nothing too harsh, and the creaminess really smooths it out for you. And with Max VG, that's, you know, pretty standard. You don't get too harsh of a hit or anything like that. So that does it for Bandwagon. Let's move on to our next flavor. Alright, so we're ready to go for our next flavor, which is going to be Conspiracy. Conspiracy is an exotic tropical getaway. Its smooth and delicious inhale is sure to transport you to another world. You may end up in Area 51 or the Bermuda Triangle, but don't say we didn't warn you. Another one that's Max VG. And this one is their tropical flavor, and I really do enjoy this one as well. It's a very unique flavor. I've been told that there is blood orange in this, and you don't see that very often. And I think it's very well executed. So I kind of get maybe a pineapple out of it as well, but let's have another vape real quick, and I'll see what I get out of it. So like I said, I definitely get that blood orange right on the inhale. It's very bright and in-your-face kind of flavor. I feel that there's a little bit of pineapple in there and maybe a few other tropical flavors. Not sure specifically which ones per se, but I know this is, you know, I love the tropical blends, and this flavor is definitely spot on for me. So I'm really enjoying this one so far. The vapor you get out of it is definitely nice and dense, just like the rest of them. Yeah, so far so good with this one. I really do enjoy it. Let's have one more puff off of this, and I'll get to my ratings. Alright, so as for my ratings on this one, this is definitely a blood orange heavy flavor. I do get that sweet, sour, tart pineapple, maybe a hint of other tropical flavors in there. I really feel like this one would pair well with a tropical fruity beverage of your choice. Overall, the flavor is very good. Definitely an all-day vape for me. Not the smoothest of the line, but overall a very satisfactory vape. For the vapor production, I'll give it a 4.5, just like the rest of them. Max VG, can't go wrong. And for the throat hit, I'm actually going to knock a point off for this. 3.5 on the throat hit scale. I feel like that sweet tart flavor, the citrusy note to it really gives me a little bit extra in the back of your throat, so a little bit harsh on the exhale, but otherwise very, very good. Highly recommend this one. Definitely go out and try it. So that does it for Conspiracy. Let's move on to our final flavor. And for our final flavor today, we have fear-mongering. Before all the media fear-mongering, we were able to enjoy the simplicities of childhood. This flavor will bring you back to your lost innocence. Fruity cereal and creamy milky good. Grab your favorite blankie, put on some cartoons, and vape it up like it's a Saturday morning. So, finally, Max VG blend, just like the rest of them. So this is a Max VG line. This entire line is all Max VG, which is kind of subjective. It's whatever the maximum amount of VG that the manufacturer can possibly put into the e-liquid, but that's besides the point. I'm enjoying these, so there you go. This is a cereal vape. I've never been a huge fan of cereal vapes, but I think this one might be changing my mind slowly. So let's have a quick vape on this one. So yeah, as for those people that know me, you know I'm not the biggest cereal vape fan. I've never been into the whole Fruity Pebbles or anything like that, but this one definitely takes the cake in that department. I really enjoy the fruitiness of this one, and you do get that kind of like grainy kind of cereal flavor as a base, which is really rather enjoyable. It's kind of a halfway between Trick cereal and Fruity Pebbles and Fruit Loops. Somewhere in the middle of that, that's where this flavor comes in. Rather enjoyable. Pleasantly surprised by this one as well. Wouldn't say it's an all-day vape for me, but I can definitely vape a whole 15 mil, without stopping. But yeah, it's pretty good for a cereal vape, and I'm, surprised by this one. So I'm very happily surprised. And with that, let's do another puff here, and we'll get to my ratings. Alright, so for my ratings for this one, for the flavor, I'll give it a 4. It's a really decent flavor, considering it is a cereal flavor, and I've never been the biggest cereal vapor. But that's, besides the point. I really do enjoy this one. For the vapor production, 4.5, and for the throat hit, I'll give it a 4. Right spot on with the rest of them. Really like this one, and I highly recommend it for any cereal vape fans out there. Don't go with the standard cereal vapes. Try something different, and try the fear-mongering by Vaporcitysauce. As for the line as a whole, I really think they're doing a great job, especially with the $1 for every bottle sold goes to advocacy thing. That is great. I really wish more companies would do that, considering there's companies that make 100 times more money than these guys that can definitely afford to give more to the advocacy side of vaping. But these guys are trying really hard to push that, so make sure you check out Vaporcitysauce. I'll have the links in the description below if you want to check them out for yourselves and grab yourself a bottle. I'm going to try to work on a giveaway for this stuff because I really feel like more people need to try it. So stay tuned in the future for a giveaway for that. I'm going to try to work something out. And for those of you that have tried these flavors, make sure you leave a comment below and tell me what you think of them, and tell me if my flavor descriptions were right on or what, or if I was wrong. So that about does it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you like this video, and subscribe for more of my content. If you want to check out some more of my videos, make sure you go to spinfuel.com, and there's also videos by Smoke and Joy and Spinfuel videos. And as always, vape on.